All right, kicking off another deep dive, and today we're going to be looking at business growth.
Always a good one.
It is, yeah, it's a hot topic for sure.
For sure.
So we're going to be looking at this article I found. It's called Five Proven Growth Frameworks to Take Your Business to the Next Level. I tried it on Medium.
Okay.
It just came out this month, and it is packed with practical advice. And the cool thing is,
Yeah.
it's based on the author's actual experience.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So they're not just like theorizing about these frameworks. They've actually applied them.
Exactly, yeah. And she shares her wins and, importantly, I think her learning moments, which is always great.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes you learn more from the mistakes than you do from the wins, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I thought this would be a great one to kind of unpack because we've got 5 frameworks in here.
Okay.
Each one is kind of like a tool in a growth toolkit.
Nice.
So we're going to kind of break down each one. And then by the end, you'll have a better sense of like, okay, which one of these might be the right fit for me or for my situation.
Right. Yeah. Because like choosing the right framework can be such a game changer.
Totally.
Especially when you're feeling kind of lost in the weeds, like you don't know where to start or where to go.
Totally.
Having that structure and clarity is so helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So framework number 1 is the lean startup methodology.
Okay.
I think a lot of people have heard of this one,
Yeah.
but maybe haven't totally like grasped like what it actually means.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So the core of it
Okay.
is about testing assumptions early and often, right? So instead of spending months developing this full-blown product,
Right.
you build what's called an MVP,
An MVP.
which is a minimum viable product.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a stripped down version of your idea, just enough to get feedback from real users.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like a sneak peek, kind of like a beta version.
Yeah, exactly. And this
Oh.
is where that build, measure, learn cycle comes in.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yes. So you build the MVP, you get it in front of people, and then you measure like how they actually use it. And the learning comes from analyzing that data.
Gotcha.
Like, does it actually confirm your assumptions?
All right.
Or does it point to a need for adjustments?
Totally. Yeah.
And author has this great anecdote in here. She was saying she poured months into developing a product without doing any testing.
Oh, no.
And then it turned out it wasn't what users wanted.
Oh, man, that's the worst.
Isn't that the worst? It's so common, too.
It is. It is. We get so attached to our ideas that we kind of forget about that, like that validation step.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Lean Startup is all about avoiding that wasted time and effort.
Right. So like if I had an idea for, let's say, an online course,
Yeah.
my MVP could be like a short preview lesson
Totally.
or like a landing page just to kind of gauge interest.
Yeah, or even like running a survey
Oh, yeah.
targeted to your ideal audience. Just be like, hey, are you actually struggling with this?
Right.
Is this a problem you're facing? And is this solution valuable to you?
Yeah. Makes so much sense.
So, okay, let's say we've tested our idea. We've gathered some feedback.
Yeah.
We're feeling good. We want to move forward.
All right.
Now it's time to get serious about goals, right?
Yeah.
Enter OKRs or objectives and key results.
OKRs.
Yeah. And I know like big companies use them, Google, Intel.
Right.
But what does that look like for someone who's like running a small business or a side hustle?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like how do they actually work?
Yeah. So the beauty of OKRs is they scale to any size.
Okay.
So you think of them as a system for setting ambitious objectives. So that's the what you want to achieve.
Okay.
And then you break those down into measurable key results.
Okay.
So that's the how you'll get there.
So instead of saying, I want to grow my business, I'd be like, I want to increase website traffic by 20% in the next quarter.
Exactly. Yeah.
And here are the things that I'm going to do, the key results to make that happen.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about clarity and focus.
Yeah, yeah.
So Google uses it to, foster innovation and keep their massive teams aligned.
Right.
But for a smaller business, it can really help you prioritize what truly moves the needle.
Totally. And Olivia talks about using OKRs to bring focus to her team as it was growing, which I think is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to feel scattered when things get busy. So just having that like shared roadmap.
Right. And like regular review is key too.
Yeah.
Are you on track to hit those key results? Do they need tweaking? It's a dynamic system. You don't just set it and forget it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for something a little more, I don't know, swashbuckling.
Okay, hit me.
Okay. This next framework is called AARR, also known as Pirate Metrics.
Pirate metrics. I like that.
No, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
So it focuses on the customer lifecycle,
Okay.
and it breaks it down into 5 stages, each one represented by an A.
No.
So we've got acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's like a treasure map
Okay.
guiding you through each stage.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, so first, like, how do we acquire these customers?
Okay.
Then how do we activate them?
Right.
So how do we get them engaging with our product or service?
Yeah.
Then retention, keeping those customers coming back for more, building loyalty.
Right.
And then, of course, like, happy customers naturally lead to referrals.
Of course, word of mouth.
Word of mouth, they tell others about their great experience.
Yep.
And ultimately, of course, it's all about revenue.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. It's about making money for your business.
For sure.
It's fascinating. Olivia used this framework, and she discovered that she had a weakness in her customer retention.
Oh, interesting.
So she was great at attracting and activating customers, but they weren't sticking around.
Oh, so like a leaky bucket.
Totally, yeah, leaky bucket. So by focusing on that retention phase,
Okay.
she actually boosted her revenue.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about getting new customers. It's about keeping the ones you have.
Exactly, yeah.
That's really interesting.
So it's a really cool framework for just identifying, like, where are you excelling?
Right.
Where are the leaks in your pipeline, so to speak?
Love it.
Okay, 2 down, 3 to go. We're on a roll.
All right, let's do it.
All right, next up is the flywheel model, which sounds like it's all about building a cycle of continuous growth.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So how's that different from like the traditional sales funnel?
well, that's a great question. It's definitely a contrast to that linear sales funnel.
Okay.
Because instead of ending with a sale,
Right.
the flywheel model is about constantly attracting, engaging, and delighting customers to keep that wheel spinning.
So it's not just about closing the deal.
No.
It's about making sure that customers have such a great experience
Yeah.
that they want to come back for more and tell their friends about it.
Exactly, yeah. Delighting the customer is at the heart of this one.
I like that.
Yeah, so when you exceed their expectations, they become your biggest advocates.
Word of mouth marketing at its finest.
Exactly, and Olivia found that shifting to this flywheel mindset dramatically improved her brand perception.
Oh, wow.
By focusing on customer success, she saw more organic growth and referrals.
That's amazing.
I love that idea of, like, building momentum through happy customers.
It's so powerful.
It is.
It's about investing in those long-term relationships, which ultimately leads to, more sustainable growth.
Totally. All right, one more framework to explore, and this one sounds like a real game changer.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Blue Ocean Strategy.
Blue Ocean Strategy.
So this one seems to be geared towards people who want to stand out in a crowded market, those who are ready to shake things up a bit.
Ooh, disruptors.
Disruptors, exactly.
I like it.
So the whole idea is about creating a new market space,
Okay.
a blue ocean, where you can thrive without constantly battling for market share in a crowded red ocean of existing competition.
So instead of trying to be the best in a crowded space, you create your own space.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about finding those untapped needs that existing businesses aren't addressing.
Interesting.
Like, think of Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, okay.
They totally reinvented the circus experience by blending in theater and acrobatics
Right.
and appealed to a whole new audience.
That's a great example.
So it's not just about having a wacky idea, it's about being strategic.
Yeah.
It's about identifying what's missing in the market and creating something truly unique.
So there's a method to the madness.
There is a method to the madness,
Okay.
and there's a systematic approach.
Okay.
So you start by reconstructing market boundaries, so you're looking beyond the traditional lines that define your industry.
So challenging the status quo.
Yeah, being open to new possibilities.
That's exciting.
It is,
Yeah.
and the potential rewards are huge.
Yeah.
Because imagine creating a product or service so unique that the competition becomes almost irrelevant.
Wow, that's the dream.
Right.
Yeah.
And Olivia actually has this great story. She talks about how she used this strategy to create a totally new offering
Okay.
in a market that was super saturated.
Wow.
And she ended up attracting a whole new customer base and unlocked a new revenue stream.
That's incredible.
So it's amazing what can happen when you think outside the box.
For sure. The Blue Ocean Strategy shows us that even in the most crowded markets, there's always room for, innovation and disruption.
Totally.
It's about having the vision and the courage
Yeah.
to chart your own course.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, right?
It is. It is.
All right, so we've covered
Plain
5
works.
lean startup, OKRs,
ARRR.
flywheel,
Flywheel.
blue ocean.
Blue Ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm already starting to see how each one offers like a unique perspective on growth.
Yeah, it's not just about the tactics, it's about the mindset too.
Totally. And that's what we're going to get into next.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Yeah, because you can have the best tools in the world, but if your mindset isn't aligned,
Right.
you're not going to get the full benefit.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for part 2.
Let's do it. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-1104, part 2 of 3.
So we talked about these 5 frameworks.
Yeah, 5 big ones.
But it's not just about, like, the tactics, right?
No.
Feels like there's also a mindset shift that comes with each of them.
Oh, totally. You can have the best tools in the world, but if your mindset isn't aligned, you won't get the full benefit.
You're not going to get the results.
Exactly.
So let's take the lean startup, for example. It's not just about building an MVP. It's about embracing a culture of experimentation.
Right, like being okay with not knowing everything up front.
Yeah, and being willing to adjust based on that feedback.
Exactly. And that's the essence of validated learning, which is like a core principle of the lean startup.
Validated learning. I like that.
Yeah, it's about moving beyond those assumptions and hunches and gathering evidence to support your decisions.
So instead of just like going with your gut, yeah, you're actually testing it out in the real world.
You're getting real data.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a scientist testing a hypothesis.
Okay.
You don't just assume you're right. You design experiments to prove or disprove your theory.
Right. So in the business world, our experiments could be things like A/B testing different marketing messages,
Totally.
or running user surveys, or looking at website traffic patterns.
Precisely. It's all about using data to guide your decisions and being open to pivoting.
Or iterating.
Yeah, based on what you learn.
And remember Olivia's story about spending months on that product without testing her assumptions.
Oh, yeah. Ouch.
Validated learning would have saved her a lot of heartache.
So much time and effort wasted.
Totally. It's like that saying, fail fast, learn faster,
Love that.
which is a great segue into another mindset shift, embracing failure as a learning opportunity.
Ooh. That's a tough one for some people.
It is, but it seems so crucial in a growth-oriented environment.
It's essential.
Yeah.
In a traditional setting, failure is often seen as negative, something to be avoided at all costs.
Right, like you get a bad grade, you're in trouble.
Exactly. But in the context of growth, it's an invaluable source of data.
It's a beta points.
Yeah, think of Thomas Edison. He
Yes.
famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
Oh, that's so good.
Right.
It's reframing failure as a stepping stone to success
Exactly. Each setback is an opportunity to course correct.
and get closer to that desired outcome.
They got it.
I like that. Okay, let's switch gears to OKRs.
Oh, yeah.
The mindset shift here seems to be all about alignment and focus.
Especially as your team grows.
Yeah, it's so easy to get scattered when you're trying to grow a business, so having that clear direction must be so helpful.
You hit the nail on the head.
Oh.
OKRs are all about moving away from those vague, nebulous goals and embracing a system of clear, measurable objectives.
So everyone knows what they're working towards.
Exactly. It's like having that shared roadmap.
Olivia mentioned that OKRs helped her team stay aligned as her business grew.
Yeah. As things get more complex, it's easy to lose sight of the big picture.
So having those shared goals must have been a game changer.
For sure. When you're all rowing in the same direction, it creates that unity.
That shared purpose.
Yeah. And it helps prioritize efforts.
Because when you have limited resources, you got to focus on what matters.
The activities that'll have the biggest impact.
So it's not just about setting goals, it's about creating a culture of transparency and accountability.
Where everyone is working together towards that common vision.
Okay, love it. Let's dive into the AIRR framework.
Guide Pirate Metrics.
What kind of mindset shift does this one encourage?
ARRR is all about putting the customer at the center of everything you do.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, understanding their journey, their pain points, their motivations.
So you're not just selling a product or a service, you're building a relationship.
Precisely. It's
Mhm.
about recognizing that acquiring a new customer is just the first step.
There's so much more to it.
The real magic happens when you nurture that relationship and turn them into a loyal advocate.
It's like building a community.
Yeah. And Olivia's story about using AARR to improve her customer retention is a great example.
She figured out where the leaks were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By understanding the entire customer lifecycle, she identified the weak spot and made adjustments.
That's the power of being data-driven.
And customer-centric.
When you combine those two things, it's like magic.
Magic for growth.
Okay, 2 more to go. The flywheel model. This one seems to really challenge the traditional way of thinking about sales.
It does. The traditional sales funnel is very linear. Attract leads, convert them into customers, and then what?
It just ends.
The flywheel model says, wait a minute, the journey doesn't end there.
Keep it going.
Yeah, it's about creating a continuous cycle of attracting, engaging, and delighting customers
So they come back for more.
and bring their friends along.
So it's like building momentum, like a flywheel spinning faster and faster as you add more happy customers to the mix.
That's a great visual.
And the key to keeping that flywheel spinning is customer delight
It's about exceeding those expectations
and creating those wow moments.
that make people want to tell their friends.
And Olivia talked about how shifting to a flywheel mindset led to a major improvement in her brand perception.
Just by focusing on making her customers happy.
It created a ripple effect.
That fueled organic growth and referrals.
It's a powerful testament to the idea that investing in customer relationships is key.
One of the best things you can do for your business.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about the blue ocean strategy. This one seems to require a particularly bold mindset.
It does. The blue ocean strategy is all about challenging the status quo.
Venturing into uncharted territory.
Exactly. It's about having the courage to create something truly unique and carve out your own space.
You're a pioneer, a trailblazer.
A disruptor.
And that requires a certain level of confidence.
And a willingness to embrace uncertainty.
Because you're not following a well-trodden path.
You're creating your own.
Olivia's story about finding success at a saturated market by using the blue ocean strategy is so inspiring.
It shows that even when the competition is fierce, there's always room for innovation.
And differentiation.
It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to win is to create a game where you're the only player.
Ooh, I like that. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1104, part 3 of 3. Man, we covered so much today, from those practical frameworks to the whole mindset piece.
Yeah, it's like we've assembled this toolkit for anyone who's dealing with growing pains in their business.
Exactly. And it's so cool how it's not about like using every single tool in the toolkit for every situation.
Right. It's more about understanding what each one brings to the table.
Yeah. And then picking the right one or the right combination.
Exactly. It's about finding the right fit for your specific challenge or goal.
I'm already kind of thinking about how I can apply some of these to my own projects.
I know, me too. It's exciting to think about.
And it's like they can work together, right? It's not like you pick one and that's it.
Yeah, totally. It's like a choose your own adventure for growth.
Okay, so let's say you're a startup and you have this brand new product idea. Where would you even begin?
Well, in that case, I'd say the lean startup methodology is your best bet.
Okay, makes sense. Start with that MVP, get some feedback, see if you're on the right track.
Exactly. Validate those assumptions before you invest too much time and money.
Then as your startup starts to gain some traction and maybe your team grows,
Then you might want to bring in some OKRs.
to keep everyone on the same page.
Exactly. Make sure everyone's aligned and focused on those key results.
And then once you have a solid customer base,
Then it's time to pull out the 8ARR framework.
to really analyze that customer journey.
Are you getting new customers? Are they sticking around? Are they telling their friends?
It's like each framework builds on the last one. It's guiding you through the different stages of growth.
And as your business matures, you might find yourself gravitating towards the flywheel model,
Because now you're all about turning those satisfied customers into loyal fans.
who then power your growth through word of mouth and repeat business.
And if you're feeling really bold, ready to shake things up,
Then the blue ocean strategy might be calling your name.
create your own market space. Be a disruptor.
Exactly. It's all about finding that blue ocean where you can thrive.
And what's so cool is that Olivia's journey kind of shows us how you can layer and adapt these frameworks over time.
She didn't just pick one and stick with it.
Right. She started with Lean Startup, then incorporated OKRs, and eventually explored Blue Ocean Strategy.
It's a dynamic process.
It really is. There's no set formula.
It's all about staying flexible, experimenting, and learning as you go.
So it sounds like the key takeaway is to find that sweet spot, that combination of frameworks and mindset shifts that work best for you.
Exactly. Your business is unique. Your journey will be unique too.
Well, we've given everyone a lot to think about today. 5 powerful frameworks, real-world examples, and even some insights into the mindset of growth.
It's been a fantastic deep dive.
It really has.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to experiment.
These frameworks are tools waiting to be put into action.
Pick one that resonates with you, start small, and see what happens.
Embrace the uncertainty, the challenges and the triumphs that come with building something extraordinary.
Your growth journey awaits